What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles in the Open Great League submitted to the channel by KingPeria464, who's running a unique triple starter team with the buffed Fang Incineroar alongside Sceptile and Samurott, which are all running some pretty interesting nuke charge moves. Now before we get into the battles, I do want to announce that I finally bought a new microphone, so hopefully there will be no more awful loud noises that just randomly pop up partway through my videos. However, there is a slight possibility that it wasn't so much a microphone issue, but rather an issue with the connection to my PC. But either way, my new microphone is certainly much better than the old one, so audio quality should generally sound much better. But anyways, I do also want to give a quick shout out to both SuperBroker9759 as well as S for their donations in last night's live stream, which also was the debut of my new microphone. So as always, I appreciate the support, and with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. What do you think is the most underrated starter Pokemon for the Go Battle League right now? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so go into the first battle, leading Sceptile into Altaria. Nightmare lead for us. We're going to say swap into our Samurott, and honestly, our only hope is just full sending the Blizzard, which we are going to do. Does the opponent respect the damage here? No, they do not. Altaria gets one shot by the Blizzard. They then come in with a Whiscash. We're able to pace to the Hydro Cannon at the same rate as a Mud Bomb. Hydro Cannon gonna win CMP, and the opponent no shields once again. At this point, we're happy to let the Samurott go down. We're actually not gonna wait up the switch clock there. Come in with the Sceptile, and they come in with a Bastiodon, and no way they don't shield again. We are full sending the Earthquake. It does huge damage. It puts them into Bullet Seed farm down range, and this game is absolutely over. This is supposed to be an Incineroar showcase. We're not even using it in the first battle because Sceptile and Samurott have put in so much work. We get the Bullet Seed farm down, and we're able to take that game. So, interesting shield usage by the opponent there. Into next battle, a much better lead for us. And the opponent save swaps into Ferrothorn. And now it's time for Incineroar to shine, as we can come in with our Fang Incineroar. We're going to no shield as they just go for a Power Whip there. We are now going to get the full farm down, go straight for Darkest Lariat here. And this is going to do huge damage. And the opponent does not respect the damage once again. And at this point, we might even shield this. We realize this. The opponent is going to go for a Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb is going to be shielded, and we can commit to a full Fang farm down. Come out with the Blast Burn loaded. They come in with a Skeledirge. Honestly, they might as well just shield anyways, and they do, but it's going to be game over as we can come in with the Samurott, and the opponent just instantly concedes the match there. So going into next battle, we're going to see Sceptile into Azumarill, so another great lead for us. The opponent's going to say swap into a Mandibuzz, so we're going to respond with the Incineroar, of course, resisting the Snarl damage. Fangs, whilst they are going to generate energy faster this season, still not generating energy that quickly, and they're able to make 2 Aerial Aces before we do even reach a Blast Burn. But Blast Burn will do big damage, even up against a Mandibuzz, so we are going straight for the Blast Burn here. Blast Burn is going to be shielded by the opponent, and at this point, we are actually going to just let the Incineroar go down, which is quite interesting. We're now going to come in with the Samurott. Samurott, of course, hitting for resisted non-stat damage with the Fury Cutters. However, it's a 1-turn fast move, so it will add up over time. And we can now fire a Hydro Cannon. From this range, Hydro Cannon probably will be enough damage to get the KO there, and it does get the KO. We're now going to swap back into Sceptile, and they come in with Clodsire. But again, this is where Earthquake full coverage is going to come in clutch for us as we full send it. It does huge damage. Unfortunately, this time it is not double super effective, so it doesn't really put them into Bullet Seed farm down range. However, Sceptile is super spammy, even with Frenzy Plant instead of Leaf Blade, because Leaf Blade is, of course, the typical moveset you would run on the Sceptile. Frenzy Plant still getting there very quickly with that Bullet Seed, and now we can just safely shield up the Ice Beam. We can still pace 2 back-to-back Frenzy Plants here, and whilst Leaf Blade probably wouldn't get the KO from this range, I think a Frenzy Plant should be enough damage. So we grab the final shield, we can fire our Frenzy Plant number 2 up against the unshielded Azumarill, and it does get the KO, and we're able to take that game. So going into next battle, we're going to see Sceptile into Ariados, so not a very good lead matchup for us. We're going to be safe swapping into our Samurott, and the opponent responds with a Galvantula. So far, they are running a double Spider team, which is very interesting. We're going to go straight for Hydro Cannon. The opponent does not respect the damage for whatever reason. I don't really understand that decision at all, and honestly, I don't understand a lot of the decisions being made in these battles so far. These are low-ranked battles, but still, I mean, it makes for some very entertaining gameplay and very unpredictable gameplay. We're now going to come in with the Incineroar. I think we definitely could have just gone for back-to-back Hydro Cannons there instead of full sending a Blizzard, but it is what it is. We're now going to shield the next lunge. They come in with a Jellicent, and this is fine for the Sceptile. We can make it to the Frenzy Plant here. Gonna throw it immediately on the CMP tie. Frenzy Plant grabs the final shield, and at this point, I think we just play it safe here. Honestly, they could be running Ice Beam, and they are running Ice Beam. I don't know if that would have one-shot us, but honestly, they probably could have Hex farmed us down. So at this point, we can fire off the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant does get the KO there. They come back in with the Ariados, and this is another opportunity to just go straight for the Earthquake here. And Earthquake, neutral damage, it gets the KO, and we're able to take that game. Of course, the opponent probably trying to go for a full farm down there, come out with back-to-back charge moves, but either way, into the next battle, we see Primeape in the lead, so we are going to stay in here, unfortunately, because we don't have Leaf Blade. This is a pretty bad matchup for us if the opponent does choose to shield, and it's a Primeape. They've just boosted their attack. They are definitely going to shield here, so Frenzy Plant does get shielded. We then swap into our Incineroar here, which is quite an interesting play, of course. We are going to resist the Rage Fist, but they have boosted up their Karate Chop damage. They boost up again. At this point, we kind of have to just let this move go through. Rage Fist does not get the KO there. They then swap into Azumarill, and I think Darkest Lariat and Blast Burn probably do about the same damage anyways, but we go for the Darkest Lariat anyways. Doesn't really make a difference there. They're both resisted. We can now come in with the Sceptile. Frenzy Plant is going to get the KO there as they just sacrifice it, and they come in with Greninja. Now, this is actually a positive matchup for us since we are running Fury Cutter as the fast move. It is dealing super effective damage. Hydro Cannon does big damage there. The opponent, I think, banked 2 charge moves. However, they're in a range where 1 or 2 Fury Cutters will get the KO, and so at this point, all we have to do is safely shield up the first charge move. Hydro Cannon does not obviously take us out there as we shield it up, and they don't even get off a second charge move as the Fury Cutter takes out Greninja, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we're going to see a Malamar in the lead. We're going to say swap into our Samurott, and we actually don't commit to the Blizzard this time around, just settling for the Hydro Cannon, but we grab a shield anyways, and this time we are just going to go straight for the Hydro Cannon here. Honestly, probably not going to grab both shields, but we do get them very low, and to a point where they actually panic and throw a charge move, which is absolutely fine with us. They fire off the Leaf Blade there. We're going to come in with Incineroar, get the Fire Fang farm down before they can react. I don't know if they have the energy for a superpower, but it doesn't really matter. We're now going to come in with our Sceptile. This time, again, not firing off the Earthquake, but Frenzy Plant still does huge damage there. They then swap back into Malamar. We are going to no-shield this to go for a foul play. We can now go straight for a Blast Burn. Honestly, that Clodsire is very low to the point where we can probably Fire Fang farm them down in the 2-shield scenario, so the opponent does use their final shield with that Blast Bird, but they go for a superpower, and that is absolutely fine with us. We can now just double shield, go for a Fire Fang farm down, come out with a Blast Burn loaded. The opponent is actually going to swap back into Clodsire, but they're unable to make it to the charge move. Blast Burn gets the KO there. One more Fire Fang takes out the Malamar, and we're able to take that game. So going into next battle, Sceptile into Dunsparce. So this is a fairly neutral matchup here. Of course, they aren't going to be able to go for Drill Run, which is quite nice for us because, of course, Drill Run is the better move. Rock Slide, unfortunately, just not that great these days since it did get nerfed a couple of seasons ago. At this point, we are going to no-shield the first charge move as the opponent does go for the Rock Slide there, but then we're going to swap at the same time as the opponent, and honestly, that was quite a interesting swap on our end because Incineroar doesn't really make sense to swap into a Dunsparce, but luckily for us, the opponent swaps at the same time into a Venusaur, and then they just concede the match. But into the next battle, we're going to see a Swampert in the lead. The opponent safe swaps into Talonflame, trying to catch a charge move there. Unable to do so, we're able to bank the energy, swap into Samurott, go for a Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is going to be shielded, and we are actually able to make it to a second Hydro Cannon throwing on the CMP tie, and this will grab the final shield from the opponent. So at this point, I think, yeah, we kind of have to no-shield this. The opponent is going to full send a Brave Bird there, but they will drop their defense by 3 stages. So now we can come in with the Incineroar. We're going to shield as we've just seen a Brave Bird. They go for the Brave Bird once again. At this point, we should go for 7 Fire Fangs. And actually, never mind. We're not even going to bother throwing. I kind of agree with this play, actually. We can just shield again. The opponent is going to swap. We predict the swap there. We swap back into our Sceptile, catch the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon, of course, is resisted damage. We farm up to back-to-back Frenzy Plants here. The first one will easily one-shot the Swampert. And they're actually going to come in with a Razor Leaf Victory Bell. But again, running Earthquake. This is going to hit for neutral damage. Earthquake does huge damage. It puts them into one Fire Fang farm down range. And of course, we can throw either Charge Weave into the Talonflame coming back in. It has very minimal HP. Blast Burn will be taking out the Talonflame, and we're able to take that game. So going into next battle, Sceptile into Stunfisk. So another matchup where hopefully we can just go straight for Earthquake here. The opponent is going to go straight for a Rock Side, so we're definitely going to no-shield this. Not the best timing there. We get a full Bullet Seed in for free, but then they swap into a Trevenant, so we can absolutely hard punish them with the Incineroar, resisting everything they can possibly throw. They go for a Seed Bomb there, doesn't do much damage. We go for the full Fire Fang farm down, and they can't really come back in with the Stunfisk either, so they come in with Azumarill, which unfortunately will completely wall us, but two Blast Burns honestly are going to do some pretty sizable damage, so we do make it to a second Blast Burn just before they farm us down. Blast Burn number 2 is actually going to be shielded by the opponent. I'm not so sure about that, but either way, we can shield up the Ice Beam. We are going to go straight for the Frenzy Plant now. We're at back-to-back charge moves, so if they do shield this up and they don't make a catch, we can fire off the Frenzy Plant immediately, and this second Frenzy Plant, we've already seen this, easily takes out the Azumarill. They come back in with the Stunfisk, and we could just swap into our Samurott, but instead, I think we want to land an Earthquake with our Sceptile. They actually go for a Muddy Water there, which is very interesting. We're now realizing that an Earthquake will not get the KO anymore, so instead, we're going to go for back-to-back Frenzy Plants. This is the safe play, and Frenzy Plant number 2 should be enough damage to take out the Stunfisk, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we're going to see Sceptile into an Obstagoon. So this is a neutral matchup here. Unfortunately, counters are going to chunk a fair bit. We're actually going to swap into our Samurott, and we're able to bait out an Ampharos, which isn't ideal for us, but we can go for a Hydro Cannon straight away, and this is probably going to grab a shield advantage from the Ampharos, and they don't overfarm at all. So we can just let the Samurott go down there to a Thunder Punch. We're going to come back in with the Sceptile. We're not going to overfarm at all, going straight for Frenzy Plants. The opponent is going to double shield their Ampharos, which is very interesting. We also somehow get 3 Bullet Seeds in for pretty much for free there, as they only throw 1 Volt Switch, so that was kind of strange. But either way, we go for a Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant will get the KO. The opponent probably going to come back in with the Obstagoon, and they do exactly that. So definitely going to have to shield this. The opponent goes for a Night Slash there. They don't get the boost. We're going straight for Frenzy Plant. I actually don't think this will quite KO from this range, and it doesn't, but we can swap into Incineroar, get the Fire Fang snipe, and they've got Galarian Stunfisk in the back. So they are going to fire for Charge Move straight away, and the opponent is once again going to go for Muddy Water. What on earth is going on right now? Seeing one Muddy Water Stunfisk is quite strange, but seeing back-to-back Muddy Water Stunfisk, it's just, yeah, that is very weird. I mean, these are low elo battles. You can see it on screen. We've sort of ranged between like the 1700s and the 1900s, so obviously not very high at all. But either way, we are going to see the opponent safe swaps into Venusaur. We can come in with the Incineroar, and we are going to no shield as they go for a Frenzy Plant. Honestly, that does quite a lot of damage there, because this is a non-Shadow Venusaur as well. We can't quite get a full Fire Fang farm down, so actually having to use a shield here, but they come in with Feraligatr, so we're going straight for Darkest Lariat here. Darkest Lariat is going to be shielded by the Feraligatr, unfortunately. However, they are going for a very aggressive Shadow Claw farm down, so we can make it to a Blast Burn. This is probably going to grab the final shield anyways, and it does. And then the opponent, for whatever reason, they just continue farming for like infinite energy there as we make it to the Frenzy Plant, and this is certainly game over. There's nothing they can do. They can also go for a Muddy Water, I guess, but they go for a Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb is resisted damage. It looks like they've given up. We go for the Frenzy Plant, and of course, Frenzy Plant, super effective damage, easily gets the one shot, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, and this is a very tricky lead for us, especially since they are on wing attack. So we're going to say swap into our Samurott. Samurott, of course, is going to take neutral damage from the water typing here, so they will have to full send a Hurricane. We can go for a Hydro Cannon. That honestly does quite a lot of damage. They are unfortunately also resisting the Fury Cutter damage, but they do full send the Hurricane there, so good shield usage. We can now overfarm, fire off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon, once again, is going to grab a shield this time around, but we make it to a third Hydro Cannon, so honestly, might grab both shields in this matchup, and we do exactly that. So at this point, happy to let the Samurott go down. The opponent is once again gonna full send the Hurricane. We can now come in with our Incineroar, and whilst Fire Fang is resisted, we should be able to shield once and hopefully go for a full Fire Fang farm down. So committing to the Fire Fang farm down, we get that farm down, but they come in with another water type, but they've also got Registeel in the back, so we can go straight for the Earthquake here. Earthquake, unfortunately, will not get the one-shot. It also doesn't put them into farm down range for the Bullet Seeds. However, we do have a lot of energy already on the Incineroar. Focus Fast gets the one-shot. We come in, we get the Fire Fang farm down, and we can go straight for Darkest Lariat up against the Swampert, coming back in, and it is going to one-shot the Swampert there, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we're going to see Sceptile into Flygon. So depending on the fast move here, they are running Mud Shot, so this is probably a positive matchup for us. We're not going to throw straight away. The opponent will throw immediately here, and they're going to go for a Stone Edge, which is very interesting. I was going to say I probably wouldn't shield that, but actually Stone Edge would have done quite a lot of damage. Frenzy Plant is going to be shielded by the opponent, but we're able to make it to a second Frenzy Plant already. Frenzy Plant number 2 gets the KO there, but they come in with Serperior, and unfortunately Serperior is going to completely wall the Sceptile. We actually swap Catch the Charge move onto our Incineroar, and they come in with another Swampert. So at this point, I think we just have to sacrifice the Incineroar here. The opponent will fire off the Charge move straight away. Hydro Cannon will be taking us out, but we can overfarm in this matchup. Overfarming by the perfect amount here, firing off the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant is going to be no shielded, and we are one Bullet Seed away from the next Frenzy Plant, which we're going to throw immediately into the Serperior, coming back in. And at this point, I guess we just let the Sceptile go down, and the opponent going to fire off another Aerial Ace, getting the KO there. We can come in with the Samurott, and we are going to probably shield this anyways, and the opponent's going to go for a Leaf Tornado. Leaf Tornado actually drops our attack there, so we can no longer go for a Fury Cutter farm down. However, we should be at back-to-back Hydro Cannons here. First one grabs that final shield, and it looks like a CMP tie, which Samurott wins. Hydro Cannon number 2 takes out Serperior, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, Tentacruel in the lead, so another really awkward matchup for us. We can't really swap out of this matchup either, so we're actually going to stay in. We should just barely live an Acid Spray, so we're going to no-shield this, and we're going straight for the Earthquake here, but the opponent makes a very nice catch there, catching it. Oh no, onto Salazzle. I thought that was a Talonflame there, but no, it's a Salazzle. Earthquake, double super effective, easily gets the one-shot, and now we can come in with our Incineroar. This game is still not over because unfortunately, we still don't have a great response to this Tentacruel. However, a Blast Burn should be enough damage to at least threaten a shield there. Maybe wouldn't quite take them out there, but it does grab that shield. They go for another Scald there. We can come in with our Samurott, and by the time we make it to a Hydro Cannon, hopefully this is enough damage to get the KO. So Hydro Cannon is going to be shielded by the opponent. They then swap into Aurora, so at this point, they just fire off a Weather Ball, so we're definitely going to no-shield this. Weather Ball is resisted damage. We can now farm up 2 back-to-back charge moves here. Go for the Hydro Cannon on the CMP tie, and of course, Hydro Cannon, super effective, easily gets the KO there. We can fire off the second Hydro Cannon immediately into Tentacruel, coming back in. It actually doesn't quite get the KO there, but the opponent recognizing there's nothing they can do, so a few more Fury Cutters takes out the Tentacruel, and we're able to take that game. So into the next battle, a fairly good lead matchup for us as we see more Peko. The opponent's going to Say Swap into a Latias. So we're actually going to respond with our Fury Cutter Samurott. Now, of course, we do have a Dark type in the back, but we do have Fire fast move coverage there in that matchup, so not really ideal for us. These Fury Cutters are seriously chunking, by the way. We're going to go straight for the Hydro Cannon here, farming up 2 back-to-back charge moves, and the opponent just lets it go. But they come back in with more Peko. We can fire off a Hydro Cannon here. Hydro Cannon will be shielded by the opponent, and they will reach a charge move. So at this point, happy to let the Samurott go down. The opponent goes for the Aura Wheel, boosting up their attack there. And we're going to come back in with our Sceptile. We did bank a ton of energy before we swapped out, however. So we go for the Frenzy Plant. The opponent does not respect the damage, but they've got Togetic in the back, so they should be able to resist everything here. Actually, apart from Aerial Ace, they will resist everything Sceptile can throw. However, Frenzy Plant does big damage even when it's resisted. We make it to a second Frenzy Plant here, and we also throw on CMP, which is huge for us. Sceptile will be going down to the Aerial Ace, but we can come in with the Incineroar and just commit 1 shield, go for a Fire Fang farm down here. The opponent is going to throw an Aerial Ace. They could be running Ancient Power, but I believe even an Ancient Power would not take us out. But either way, we're going to use our final shield, shielding up the Aerial Ace, going for the Fire Fang farm down, and we're able to take that game. So going into the final battle of this video, leading into a Wigglytuff, so not really a great lead matchup. We're actually going to swap into Incineroar. I'm not so sure about that, and they come in with a Bastiodon, which is definitely not ideal for us. We're going to go for Darkest Lariat here, and I did mention I think they are the same damage, or it might be slightly more damage actually, I don't know. But either way, we're only making it to 1, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference there. We're definitely going to shield this up as the opponent goes for a flamethrower there. And can we commit to a full bullet seed farm down? It doesn't look likely, so we're going to go and fire off the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant is going to be shielded by the Bastiodon, and we are going to shield now as the opponent actually going to fire off the Charge Reef there. This is actually better for us as we can go for a full bullet seed farm down there. They come back in with the Wigglytuff. We're going for back-to-back Frenzy Plants. The first one is actually going to be no shielded, so we swap into our Samurott. We get the Fury Cutter farm down, and they've got a Mud Slap Kangaskhan in the back, which is a pretty interesting pick there. Definitely wouldn't expect to see it paired with Wigglytuff and Bastiodon. However, we can fire off the Charge Reef on the CMP tie. Hydro Cannon will not be enough damage to get the KO. Kangaskhan actually has some decent bulk to it. However, we do have a Frenzy Plant loaded on the Sceptile. So, of course, Frenzy Plant coming through will easily be enough damage to take out the Kangaskhan, and we're able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.